Hi everyone, welcome to the live session on the how to win any argument without raising your voice, losing your cool, or come to the blows. In this episode number 5, we are going to about the 7 rules for how to win an argument with self-control. And previously, we have discussed the 6 rules for how to win and the 7 ways to still center keep you from getting into your own way, the self control. As the Tao Te Ching said, knowing others is wisdom, knowing the self is enlightenment. So the first is for the self-control is you getting your own way when you are acting under the influence. Way number 2, we have already discussed you get in your own way when you see things the way you want it to be. Way number 3, we have discussed you get in your own way when you color the world with your expectations. Way number 4, that said to us, if you want to get in your own way when you conclude fact from your assumptions, then the way 5, we understood to get in own way when you are convinced that you know what you know. Then way number 6, we have discussed here in this live special episode that is the when you are influenced by head turning Taoism. So let's begin with the V7 today in this live session how to win any argument without raising your voice, lose your cool, or come to blow. So the VA7 is saying that you get in your way when you are too stubborn to let go of the peanut. What is it and what is the mean for the minute when you have to get low on the stubborn thing and let go of that peanut? The tiny monkey live along the African coast. They are fast and live high in the treetops, so there is no way to catch one unless you know the monkey hunter's secret. Africans drill a hole in a coconut that is just big enough for a monkey to squeeze his head inside. The coconut milk is spilled out and a peanut coated with honey is dropped inside the hole. A monkey will always reach down into the hole to grab the peanut with his first clenched. The monkey hand is bigger than the hole. As long as he hold onto the peanut, he wants to shake free from the coconut because the monkey can only think of the peanut. He won't release his grip. Even when the monkey hunters come to toss a net over him. One way. You do sometimes get in your own way by being so focused on a singular objective that you don't let go of the peanut. Legend tells of a samurai warrior whose life quest was to avenge the brutal slaying of his beloved master at the hands of a sadistic killer. After years of searching, The samurai at long last found the killer and engaged him in a duel. When the killer realized that it was the samurai who would prevail, he leaned forward and split in the samurai's face. The samurai suddenly stopped fighting and returned his sword to his sheath and walked away. The samurai's student couldn't understand. Why did you walk away? They asked. Because he explained, my vigilance become personal. Empowered with a steel center, the samurai was able to get out of his own way. The monkey never did. So here is something for your head turning and heads up. You get in your own way when you stubbornly refuse to let go. A still center empower you to drop the peanut. Keep this in mind. What makes you think also makes the other guy think. What caused you to get in your own way also cause him to get in his own way. So that's why the way 7 is saying when you are too stubborn to let go of the peanut. You can take a lesson from a wise king because there is much to be learned from a mango tree. Earlier, I have mentioned with you the story of mango tree. Now, the story is here for you. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a wise king wanted to teach his four sons a valuable life lesson. One winter, he dispatched his oldest son to see a mango grove. As winter turned to spring, his second oldest son made the journey. The third son traveled to see the tree that summer, and in the fall, it was the youngest son's turn. Upon the youngest boy returned, the king summoned his four sons and asked each what he had seen. The tree looked almost bare, reported the eldest son. No, argued the second son. They are leafy and green. The trees also were blooming with the clusters of tiny pink flowers. The third son reported. No, insisted the youngest. They are filled with orange and yellow red fruit. My sons, each of you are right, for you each saw the trees at different time, said the king. The reason or the lesson of the mango groves is to keep in mind that the other person and you have different frames of references, different experiences, different ways of looking at things, different values, and in all likelihood, will use a different word to say the same thing. When you are aware you didn't just do that thing or just look, you see, you don't just listen, you hear. When you see and hear, you are in complete attendance. To be in complete attendance always, Sudhir, I'm sharing with you some ways how you can do that. So, first look and listen for tells how body signals are clues as to how the other person is receiving about you are saying because the clues are largely subconscious. Can men appropriately call them tells? Anti-terrorism checkpoint personnel are trained to give more credence to tell than to the spoken words. Almost all mannerisms are important. Does she choose to sit directly across from you, indicating confidence? Or does she sit at the an angle, indicating she is ill at ease? Has he removed his coat, indicated that he feels comfortable with you? Are there nods of approval? Is there head shaking disapproval? Did you say something causing her to smile in relief? Are his arm protectively folded across his chest? Is he showing tension through compressed lips, strained laughter, blushing, giggling, staring? Is she fidgeting? Has his tone of voice become elevated and belligerent? Visually, listening for tells is zooming in to read the other person's fine print. Way number two, how to be complete attendance. Look and listen for hidden word messages. So ancient proverb is say, only the foolish man hear all that he hears. So look and listen for a hidden words message. What is the meaning of word used by the other person? The other person's message can be real, true, and reliable, or they can be used cover-ups and decoys. Winners see and hear more than a person's words and more than the message that person is intended to convey. Constructing words literally and accepting a person's message at face value is not effective people reading. A teenage girl tearfully tells her boyfriend, I doesn't matter, are we to believe? It really doesn't matter, or that it matters a lot. The words incidentally, by the way, as you already know, sound casual and incidental, but they usually introduce statements a person wants to downplay or sneak by you. The words incidentally, by the way, and sneak by you sometimes tells you you are 100% correct in what you are saying, but does he really feel you are 100% right? Or is he just softening you up for the bad news? I will give it my best. I will try my hardest. These statements are proofs that a person is already presupposing a high probability of failure. Statements that start, don't be concerned, but or you have nothing to worry about mean only one thing, there is something to worry about up ahead. What is that? Let's understand that once with the way number third. The way number third is look and listen for priorities. Conversations, even small talk, are never as random or directly or disorderly as they may seem. Quick make a short list of television show. Did you list item randomly? Or did you listen them in the order of your personal references? In all probability, you will present for Specify things in an order that is consistent with your own priorities and desires. Points that you may have thought were throwing points of secondary importance, maybe primary point to someone else. Learning to look and listen for what the other person considers credible will enable you to argue more effectively. Look and listen for the pronouns that the clues. This is way number four, how you reach, how you think to, and become free or complete attendance. So somehow, I just can't help myself when I agree with the position taken by my client. I subconsciously use the phrases such as we just won't exit. But when I am dutifully following a client's instructions that are not totally to my liking, then my subconscious inclination is to say, he, oh, won't agree to. The pronouns that the other person uses are both a forecast of the response he is expecting from you and a reflection of how committed he is to his argued for the position. So here is a head turning and head up for you. The average person talk at the rate of about 120 words per minute, but can hear and comprehend 600 words per minute. You have the capacity to listen to the speaker's words as well as to his 12 hidden word messages. Varieties and the pronoun clue the capacity to be in what the pros call complete attendance. So we here discussed about how to be fully attendance when you are in conversation with someone. So that are the four ways. Look and listen for the tells what the other person is telling. Look and listen for the hidden words messages. They have certain meanings and comprehension of some specific words, what they are saying, and messages included in that words. Way number three, we have discussed look and listen for the priorities, what are required at that particular time, that is quick and priorities. Then finally, number four, look and listen for the pronouns and their clues, what they tell and what they are telling. So in whole in the chapter first, we have discussed about the seven ways still center keep you from getting in your own way or self-control. And meet the blonde guy with the tuna melon and fries because the duct tape isn't a solution. In this chapter 1, we discuss fully and understand the gain absolute control, total self-control. Because winning begins by controlling how you will be. That's why we covered the Tao Te Ching. Mastering others required force, mastering the self needs strength. So understand this important quote from the Tao Te Ching. Mastering others requires force, mastering the self needs strength. So to imagine is to self-empower. You have just actualized what the ancient master thought of still center. How to reach to your still center that is the absolute control. You need to follow the seven ways that you are acting under the influence. You need to assess that. You are acting well when you see things that the way you want it to be. And you need to assess yourself, getting that when the color, you color the word with your expectation, what you want. And then another way is that you conclude fact from your assumptions. You read to assumption, there's may possibility, and then you conclude that fact. What is your assumption? The way five, you need to or you work when you are convinced that you know what you do. This is the different and biggest challenge for having a great understanding about how to win an argument. Then after your still center will come with up when you are influenced by the head turning time ins. So it will be become the credibility head turners or turners. Then way number seven, we learn about when you are too stubborn to let go of the peanut. That's why you will win an argument with absolute self-control or the total control. So for that, you need to be complete attendant during the conversation. So you need to look and listen for else. You need to look and listen for hidden words, messages. Then you need to look and listen for the priorities, and then finally you need to listen for looking and listening the pronouns and their clues.